Hi everyone, welcome to today's session on bounds. Today we're going to be looking at upper and lower bounds, what they are and how to find them, how to use them in calculations, and we will look at a little bit of exam practice. So first of all, what are bounds? Bounds are the smallest, obviously that's the lower bound, and the largest numbers that a rounded number can lie between. Remember that when we give bounds, the way we write it is as an interval. Okay, so I've just put this in just to remind you that we write it as an interval or as an inequality, okay? Now, your x value, whatever it is that you're talking about, it could be a length, a height, a volume, whatever it is, it can of course be equal to the lower bound. So do take note that we have here a greater than or equal to sign, but of course for the upper bound, even though we have that as the upper bound, it can't actually equal the upper bound, okay? Because if it did, it would round to a higher number, okay? So do remember that with your interval, your greater than or equal to sign and then your less than sign, okay? So for example, 2.6 has been rounded to one decimal place. Therefore, it has the bounds of 2.55 as the lower bound and 2.65 as the upper bound, okay? X has to lie between those. It can equal to 2.55, but it cannot equal to 2.65, okay? What is the method for finding bounds, okay? So what you need to basically remember is the half up, half down rule, okay? So for the upper bound, you add on half the degree of accuracy. So you add on half the degree of accuracy. And for the lower bound, you subtract half the degree of accuracy. Okay, so what does that really mean? So let's look at this example question. So we have a length is measured as 4.6 centimeters, correct to one decimal place. Find the lower bound and the upper bound of the actual length. Okay, so my degree of accuracy here is one decimal place. So that really is 0.1. To use the rule half up, half down, you are going to take the 0.1, you're going to divide it by 2. That would give us 0.05. To then calculate the upper bound, you're going to take the actual length, so 4.6, and you're going to add this 0.05 to it. Okay, that gives us a total of 4.65 for our upper bound. And then for the lower bound, you take the actual length and you subtract half the degree of accuracy. So you're subtracting 0.05 here. 4.6 subtract 0.05 would give us 4.55. So your lower bound is 4.55, upper bound is 4.65. If you had to write this as an interval, you would write 4.55 is less than or equal to. Now here, let's just call it L for the length, and that is less than 4.65, okay? And that would be your upper and lower bound interval. Okay, so your length could actually fall into anything between those. Okay, you have a quick practice. So your question's on the right-hand side here. So a mass is measured as 12.4 kilograms, correct to one decimal place. Find the lower bound and the upper bound of the actual mass. Starting with our degree of accuracy here. So it's correct to one decimal place. So that's, oh, don't want the highlighter. That's 0.1. So again, we need to half this. So divide by 2 will give us 0.05. We need to both add and subtract that from the actual mass to find our upper and lower bound. Okay, so 12.4 plus 0.05. And this is for the upper bound, sorry. That would give us 12.45. And then for the lower bound, 12.4 subtract 0.05, which would give us 12.35. And then of course you can write this, sorry, I should also remember actually kilograms, shouldn't I? Okay, to write this in an interval, we would write 12.35. What are we talking about here? Mass. So we would have mass is greater than or equal to 12.35, but less than 12.45. Okay, and again, that would be your interval if it asked for one. Okay, if it just asked for your upper and lower bound, both of these answers here would be fine. Okay, so how do we use bounds in calculations? Okay, here's just some nice sort of quick, easy rules to remember. This might look really confusing. Promise you it's not. So when you're adding to find the upper bound, you simply add the upper bounds together. The same for lower bound, you just focus on adding the lower bounds. If you're doing a calculation with bounds with subtracting, okay, to find the upper bound, you need the biggest amount and you're subtracting the smallest amount. So upper bound, subtract the lower bound, okay? Equally for the lower bound, you're going to start with the lower, but subtract the upper, okay? And then for multiplying, for upper bound, you multiply both upper bounds together. For lower bounds, same thing, multiplying both lower bounds. And then for dividing, to find the upper bound, you want the biggest amount divided by the smallest. And then for the lower bound, you would have the lower bound divided by the biggest amount, which would be the upper. Let's just see how we use these now in actual calculations, and we'll just look at an exam practice question together, and then I'll let you go and have a go at this. So we have a rectangular field that has a length L of 14.3 meters, correct to 1 decimal place, and a width of 9.61 meters, correct to 2 decimal places. So for part A, we want to calculate the lower and upper bound for L and W. Okay, so let's focus with L first. So the length is 14.3 meters, correct to 1 decimal place. Okay, so our degree of accuracy is 1 decimal place, which is 0.1. Okay, so again, we want to do our half up, half down rule. So 0.1 divided by 2 is 0.05. We're going to add that and subtract it to the 14.3. So for our upper bound, 14.3 plus 0.05 gives us 14.35, and that's meters. Then for the lower bound, we're going to have 14.3 subtract 0.05. Okay, so 14.25 meters. Okay, again, write these as an interval. So we know that our length is greater than or equal to 14.25, but less than 14.35. Okay, I should put my units on there as well. Okay, so that's it for L. Let's look at W now. So W, the width is 9.61, but this is correct to 2 decimal places. So 2 decimal places, which means 0.01 is the degree of accuracy. So this time we have 0.01 divided by 2, which is going to give us 0.005. Okay, and then the same process, you need to add that onto 9.61, but also subtract it. So for the upper bound, we would have 9.61 plus 0.005. Let me just move that so I've got a bit more space. That's going to be equal to 9.615 meters. And then for our lower bound, we want to do 9.61 subtract 0.005, which is equal to 9.605. Okay, so again, put that into an interval. We would have 9.605 as our lower bound. So W is greater than or equal to that, but less than 9.615. And I've forgotten the meters again. Okay, so you've got your upper and lower bounds for each of those measurements. Part B is asking us to calculate the lower and upper bound for the perimeter and for the area of the field. Okay, so let's start with perimeter. To calculate perimeter, we're adding, okay? So just think back to that previous slide and the rules that kind of go with that. So if we're looking at the upper bound, we want to be adding the upper bounds together. So we'll start with the upper bound for the perimeter. I'm going to use the upper bound of the length, so 14.35. And I need the upper bound of the width, okay, which is 9.615. Now, because this is a rectangular field, I of course need to multiply both of those sides by 2. So I'm just going to put a 2 in bracket before them. Okay, and I'm going to add those two together. You would just put this into your calculator, of course. You should get your upper bound as 47.93 meters. Okay, we're going to repeat the process for lower bound, exactly the same, but just using both of the lower bounds this time. So 2 times 14.25 and then plus 2 times 9.605. Okay, and then add those together, we would get a lower bound of 47.71 meters. Okay, to put that into an interval again, 47.71 is our lower bound. I'm going to write these to 3 significant figures. So I would have perimeter, and then that's going to be less than 47.9 meters. Okay, and that would be your interval for your perimeter. Okay, let's look at area now. So for area, we are multiplying. Okay, so it's the same sort of rule where you just use upper bound times upper bound and lower bound multiplied by lower bound. Okay, so for the upper bound, we would have 14.35 multiplied by 9.615. Again, just pop that into your calculator. That would give us 137.975, and that would be meters squared. For your lower bound, same process, but just using the lower bound. So 14.25 multiplied by 9.605. And that would give us 136.871 meters squared again. Again, for your interval, I'm going to round these to 3 significant figures this time. So I would have 137 as my lower bound, sorry, and then 138 as the upper bound. Okay, and that would be your completed interval for area. Thank you for joining today. If you do have any further questions, just reach out. You can email me or you can leave a comment. Thanks for joining.